Greetings. My name is Michael Miller. This is a Michael Miller trademark training video out to you because you're watching. Thank you and welcome. It's meant for Michael Miller Pilates licensed affiliates, the core new core, and anyone interested in surviving and thriving as a Pilates instructor. Just 3 things on my list today. Funny enough, for a Monday, usually it's packed with Saturday and Sunday notes and Monday notes, but the first title is Pilates Lost. Pilates Lost. And there's a lot of what I'm referring to, or what I want to address is, there you go, what I want to address is different points of view of Pilates. To the point where you would think Pilates gets lost in all the different points of view. Okay? As someone trying to help you survive as a Pilates instructor, it helps to recognize different points of view of Pilates to help you understand and deepen your own. So, points of view. Across social media, I saw some kind of a gathering happening where a mat class was taught from archives in the attic. So this is a point of view, archives in the attic. And that's the point of view where you have old stuff, archival stuff of Joe's, and it is the source of inspiration, let's say, and I think leaning on legitimacy. But there's archives in the attic, and from the archives in the attic, whose ever attic it is, and whatever archives there are, right, that's a point of view where that defines the view. It has me reaching for what? It has me reaching for puzzle pieces, right, that represent exercises, and that from the assemblage of the pieces, a picture emerges, or an understanding comes from seeing how the pieces connect. That is a different view. It's a different view than limiting one's view to only what comes out of the attic, or of only archival information. To some extent, it seems to me that if that's your extent, or that's the way you frame your point of view, you're left with historical reenactments and trying to make the reenactment historically as accurate as possible. See, what's archival? Because Joe's book is archival, right? And right there in Joe's book, there's a point of view if one cares to look at that point of view. So, relics come to mind as a point of view about what is Pilates, or what's your point of view of Pilates, and it's in the homage and the attention paid to relics that defines a point of view. Okay? So let's look at another point of view, rather different in structure and nature, and that would be an advertisement I saw recently for a Pilates studio where 6 out of the 8, this was the advertisement, this was the presentation, 6 out of the 8 were licensed physical therapists. And it sounds like an apology that it wasn't 8 out of 8. And to me, that's a point of view that's looking at Pilates through the lens of, through the view of physical therapy. And a presumption that a physical therapist is better suited to delivering the name, the subject Pilates, than someone with only the name. Right? And yet, if you heard me say before, as a Pilates instructor, you stand in a two-way street, direction in the traffic going 2 different ways, and almost all of the traffic is going the direction toward an issue. Fix the issue, get me out of pain. The role of a physical therapist is to recover to some baseline and then let the person go. And the pursuit of Pilates is to condition to the point where you never end up injured. And you escape your infirmaments to whatever extent they're unescapable. So the points of view, one was artifacts, the other is science toward the issue. So PTs, by declaration of being a physical therapist and by what they do, as far as what I know of and my point of view, is rehab and recovery. And that's a specialized application of a method that's about conditioning and training. And the major traffic goes toward the issue, but in Pilates, if you're of a mind to teach it ideally, is a conditioning that seeks a whole body engagement, right? Where the issues dissolve from the effort of being whole body. At least the issues that can dissolve. And then, so MMP is a point of view, I would say, is science, but toward the whole rather than toward the issue. And a lot of Pilates, we'd say, most of Pilates, any Pilates is a whole body thing, right? Within that generality of Pilates being whole body, well, that's all of it, really, because the direction of pursuing Pilates is whole body. So a point of view where PT or PTs are implicitly better equipped to teach Pilates would be a presumption that's not necessarily true, especially to the extent that as an instructor of Pilates, you know the difference between teaching Pilates and teaching PT. Because, from my point of view, that empowers you to be a Pilates instructor. See, PT Pilates is talking about the current science of biomechanics and physiology and everything that we know on that realm. But using the mind as the encompasser of the situation. Here's a good one. Encompasser. Whereas in Pilates, as a Pilates instructor, the target is to coordinate the mind, the observer, and the being completely. Oh, okay. So much of the artifact Pilates, of the historical reenactment of Pilates, I think is fed by the attraction to the mystery of the unknown and the mystery of a presumption that it's unknowable. And to that extent, we get lost in mystery and spirituality and religiosity, which are points of view that are all out there, but different than the MMP point of view that uses science and what we know about the character of observing to, in the pursuit of the choreography, find an experience that connects us with the universe faster than light. And that, of course, is attractive to me. That kind of mystery is attractive to me, but not that it's unknown or unknowable, and not that knowing why it doesn't make a difference in your ability to thrive as a Pilates instructor. And so number two is control is the issue. Control is the issue. Why is that so? Or why would I say that? Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is that Joe called his method contrology and wrote a book about return to life through contrology. And so the study of control, the ology of control, makes it the issue. And the performance of control is highly individually, subjectively interpreted. But the character of control in and of itself, I think, is unmistakable and universally acknowledged. Universally acknowledged. Not universally. But the better someone does something and the more one exhibits control in doing it, the more apparent it is that control is present. Right? And so it's not about how much you know, it's about contrology, and the control is the issue. And the control that you get or aim for is complete coordination of your capacities in being, thinking, and observing. Which takes me to number 3, really. I'm probably talking about the whole thing just for 3 different labels. But number 3 is that Pilates defines itself. Pilates defines itself. And so that's a point of view. That's a point of view. It's a lot different than the point of view that seeks to, how did I say it? Write it? Surround themselves in the mystery of the unknown. The mystery of the unknowable. And how that plays into your position in what you're presenting yourself as, and why and how. I think it's very attractive. And if there was not something to know about Pilates, I would be as much in awe of the unknown and the unknowable. But I set my frame, my image view, my image controller, I set my image within the realm of science, biology and physics, and the purity of the poem of Joe's work, and try to address the subject of meaning in the same striving for purity and essence. And so in that regard, the method defines itself. Joe defined it as complete coordination of body, mind, and spirit, right? He left enough in his book. He had 2 books, but only one really addressed the method. He took a lot of pictures, and he took some film, and all of it reinforces the idea within the original work, the pattern, the flow, the process. And from my point of view, the MMP point of view says that there's an experience to be had, that it's sensational, and that the target is to do the dance, to do the choreography, to make the flow of exercises as deeply as you can, for as long as you can, in trying to be completely coordinated in all 3 of your capacities. It seems like the mind can only take so much depth before it wants to pop out into more of a distance, or I don't know what it is, but you can only dive so deep for so long before you have to surface. But what is the dive in, or what? Yeah, what are you diving in? Diving in. What are you diving in? You're diving into your concentration. And when you are, or can, completely concentrate on the purpose of the exercise, there's an experience to come out of that within the MMP point of view, and certainly not in everyone else's. And that's my summary, I guess, is that MMP is just one point of view out of thousands. You have your point of view. And so many other point of views influence us like a tsunami wave just coming in. Sorry for all the people that were affected and died, and were affected, and all the horror of that wave in Indonesia today. And for all the people that were lost in Las Vegas a year ago today. See, living in a normal, healthy body and expectation of a normal, healthy future can be seriously interrupted. And that threat, moment to moment, that's called life. And to the extent that you condition for it, you might be well prepared to the point of being able to escape disaster. Climbing a tree in a literal wave, right? Knowing more than somebody else does about the ideal within Joe's original work. And having PT experience if you're involved in helping a person with their issues. See, it's a spectrum. And the spectrum starts right at the middle in the moment. And it's up to you as an instructor to navigate your own path and construct your own simulation, to build your own view of what the method is and what it's all about and what it means to be an instructor. And this image of the fish, I didn't make a big one of it, but the fish, I'm asking about the fish, and you say, what fish? And I say, what happens to the fish in the novel by Hemingway called Old Man and the Sea? Old man goes out in the boat, has a serious challenge to get the fish all the way back in, and by the time he gets it back in, it's all been eaten away by the sharks. So the comparison is to the 10,000 views of Pilates, and how each one of us engages in our own way for our own fun. And of course, a lot of that fun can be helping other people escape pain and misery, which is no laughing matter, but it can be a lot of fun to participate in that, right? As well as the conditioning part of beyond injury to where do you go after your, it's not just the baseline with Pilates. It's conditioning, it's preparation. And hopefully over the last couple of years of talking with you, you've absorbed this point of view so that you end up with more than just a skeleton when you go fishing for the prize of being a good Pilates instructor. Life can't live forever. Read between the lines. See behind the curtain. Add 2 and 2. Direct your thinking. Geist.